Hi, I'm Navid Ansari, and in this video we're going to talk about how you can have highscore or leaderboard using Google API. What we will do is this: the player can sign into his account in our game. We will make some button. For the first button, they can click on it and sign into their account with our game, connecting to play games. They can select the account that they want to connect to our game. When they are connected, it gets his first name. After that, they can revoke their login in here by clicking on this button. After that, they can post a score. Of course, we should post a score when they hit a score, right? So after they reach a score, we can post it, and we clicking on show all the scores. It's just me that send this score, so I'm the highest, rank 1, and they can see their friends rank and their score, and they can see what score they did today and this week or all time. So without any further ado, let's begin. So for that, let's just create a new project of GameMaker language. Let's call it leaderboard. And in here, you know, like most of my videos, for doing something like this, I sometimes create a script to make it easy for you, or make some object. So for that, just go to marketplace, open the marketplace, and in marketplace just search for leaderboard. You should see my name because there may be another asset out there that has the same name. So the leaderboard that I published, add it to your account. Click I have read in here, and know that we added to our account. We can go to the GameMaker, to marketplace, my library, and in my library find that leaderboard. If you can't find it here, just refresh it one more time in here. After loading, the leaderboard should be here. That's it. Just hit download in here, and after that import it. So what you need in here is this Google Play Service extension. It is updated version. After that, add all of these objects. We don't need this room, and just add this sprite for our button. And after that, hit import. Now you can close the library. Let me go through all of these objects to show you what they are doing. Of course, the name says itself what is it doing. First thing to do, you should open your room. Let's make it bigger, like this much, and add this OBG leaderboard to your room. And now let's just open it. It should be persistent. In create event, you see we get the player info and his account info, and we can get all of this information wherever we want. And I will show you how you can get all of those information from player info and account info. We should create a button that when the client or player hit that button, sign in to their Google account and connect it to our game. So for that, I did create this sign in button. In create event, it's just a text to draw it on the button. After that, there is a setup, and it check if the player is signed in. This button, write sign out on it. Okay, it's just change the text to sign out. And if it's not signed in, it draw sign in text on the button. So that's for a step event. In draw, we just draw the sprite and we draw that text that we set in create and in a step event. That's easy, right? Next, in left pressed. Okay, so if they click on this button and they are signed in, they will get signed out with Google Play Service signed out. And if it's not signed in, it try to sign into their Google account and connect it to our game. So that's it for our signed in button, and we can add this to our room now. So let's just add it here, make it bigger, like so. And with that, when we click in this button, we should be able to log into our Google account and connect it to the game. But before doing that, we should go to Google Play Console and set up some things in Google Play Console. So in Google Play Console, what you should do, you should upload your game for closed testing. If you don't know how to do that, there is a lot of tutorial about that, how you can publish your game or app for closed testing on the internet, on YouTube. In one of my videos, I did explain it how you can do that, and let's just not bother with that. So I assume that you publish your game for closed testing, and after you did that, so after you put it on closed testing, just open it, and in here, go down to the Play Game Services, and in configuration, just click on it, and in here, you should first create a Play Game Service project. So how you can do that, you should go to your Google Cloud platform and create a project with the name of your game that you publish for closed testing. Again, if you don't know how to do that, Google will tell you step by step how you can do that. Like this, step by step tell us what we should do. First, create a play game service project. In Google Cloud Platform, you can just create a new project in here. And in Google Play Console as well, there will be a link to that Google Cloud Platform. So after you create that project with same domain, that is com.mobco.timebattle, in this case for me. After that, you should create authentication consent screen in Google Cloud Platform. I will show you what it is, but first let's see how you can do that. Of course, there is a lot of tutorial about that, you can see them, and even Google show you a step by step how you can do that. Let us go to Google Cloud Platform in API and services. Just go to authentication consent screen, click on it, and you see I created before, but for you to see how you can do that, I edited in here, and you should be at this page right now if you follow the steps that Google tell you to do. So for the app name, you should exactly write what you write in Google Play Console, and for the user support email, choose whatever you want. I don't want to add any logo, I don't want to add any app domain, and that's it. Just set this to, and in email addresses, just write your email and hit save and continue. In here, there are some important stuff that you should add to your non-sensitive scopes. So for that, just click add, and here you can see I add Google Drive API, that is authentication / drive.appdata. Let's just go to next page. For the next page is Google Play Game Services, that is authentication / games. Next, Google Play Game Services / authentication / game light. On the next is Google Play Game Services for the scope OpenID. So select all of them and click add or update to your table. So it should look like this for your scopes. After you did that, just go down and hit save and continue, and here again save and continue, and it should look like something like this. If they ask you for user type, just hit external, and that's it. The final result should be like this. So after you create that, in here in production, you should publish it. After that, it's finished for this. You should go to credentials, and in here you can see that I create this authentication 2.0 client IDs. So for creating that, I created before, but we can create another one. In here, just click on create credentials and click on authentication client ID, and in here in application type, select Android. The name should be exactly the name of your game. The package name should be the exact package name of your game. So for name, we can go to our Google Play Console, and in here you can copy the name from here. Just copy this and paste it for name. And for the package, of course, you can get it from GameMaker. And for the package name, if you go to dashboard, you can see the package name is here. Just copy it with Ctrl+C and paste it in here. So after you paste it in here, there is a SHA certification fingerprint that you should paste in here. So let's see how we can do that. For that, just go to your GameMaker and go to File, Preferences, go to Platform Setting, go to Android. And in Android, you should fill all of these. In last video, I did talk about how you can fill up this and generate key store, and basically how you can create Android project. So after you fill all of these sections, generate key store and store it somewhere safe that you should have it always. And after that, just click on show key hash and it will generate it for you. You should copy this key hash. So let's just copy it, Ctrl+C to copy it. And now we can paste that SHA certification fingerprint in here. Because I did create this before, it doesn't let me to create it one more time, but it is okay. You have the right credential in here. After that, you should create these service accounts. And for that, you can click manage service account. You see that I created before in here. So click on manage service account, and here you can see that I created before, but for you to see, just create another service account. Again, in service account name, you can put your game name. Let's just copy this from Google Play Console, paste it here, and it will create service account ID. And that's it. You can click on create and continue. In here again, click on continue and done, and this service will be created for you. So after you did all of that, just go back to your dashboard in Google Play Console and go down to configuration of Play Game Service, setup and management, and in configuration. So in configuration, we did these two steps, and now we should create credential in here. So for that, just go down and add credential in here. The type is Android. The name should be the name of your game, and enable anti-piracy. You can turn it on, but it doesn't matter for me. For authorization, just click in here and select the one that you created before, and you can see that it gives you client ID and the fingerprint that we copy from GameMaker. So you should check that this fingerprint is the same that is in your GameMaker. After that, just click Save Changes, and you can see that our credential is here, but it is in draft. So we should review it and publish it. So click on review and publish, and in here just click on publish changes, and that's it for these credentials. And after that, just go to leaderboard, because we want to have leaderboard, high score, or whatever you want to name it. So in here, click on create leaderboard, give it a name. I want to say high score. The format, I want to choose number, but you can choose duration or currency. The number of decimal, for me it's 0. If you want a custom unit, just click in this checkbox, and you can see the format preview in here. You can give it an icon. I don't want to do that. Sort order, in most cases we want the largest to be first, and tamper protection, it is on by default, and I don't want to set any limit. And now we can hit save as draft. Now that we save it, let's just go back to leaderboards, and in here click on review and publish, and hit publish in here, publish changes. You're not done with Google Play Console yet. You can go to testers and create some tracks in here and add tester to your game. So you should add these the testers that you want to test your game for high score. So you can click on add tester and give an email in here like this, and we can add the tester in here. You should add tester for testing your leaderboard system. After you add testers, what you need to do, you should copy this ID, the project ID that is here, copy it, and in your GameMaker, go to game option, go to Android, and in Android go to social and paste it in here. This is Google Service ID. After you paste this here, you should go to packaging, and you need Google licensing public key. So if you go to your Google Play Console and go down in here, go to monetization setup, and in monetization setup, just copy this code in here by clicking on this button and just paste it in here and hit OK. Hit OK in here as well. So now everything is set up with GameMaker, and with this button that we added to our room, we can run our game and sign in to our Google account and connect it to our game. And all the player can click on this button and log into their account and connect their account to your game. So for running it on emulators, I did talk about this. I created a video about how you can run your game on Android emulators. So I do it fast in here. Just go to game option, go to Android. In here, you should set the version as the version that you upload in your Google Play Console. And for the package domain, you should just set it as the one that you upload to your Google Play Console. And now let's just go down to architecture, select all of these and hit OK. Hit OK in here as well. Go to targets, select Android and the device that you want to run it on, and now we can run it. So now that our game is running, we can hit sign in and try to connect to Play Games. Of course, Google Play Games should be updated, and your emulator should have Google Play on it because you want to test sign in, right? So there should be Google Play on their devices. So after that, they select their account, and you remember that about that consent that I talk about, those scopes. These are those scopes and permissions that user should give us. So they select it and hit continue, and they will be signing to their Google account, and their account now is connected to our game. And you remember the given name is Navid. We get this name from that account info that I did talk about, that in account info you can get the name, get the last name, get the display name, get the username, get the user ID and everything. You can get everything from that. They can hit OK and it says sign out. And if they sign out in here, they will be signed out from our game. And if they again click on sign in, because they are connected to our app, this time there won't be any scope or allowing stuff because they connect it to our game. So for them to disconnect from our game, we should revoke the access. So before you revoke it, I want to show you something else. If you close the app and open it again, it should stay sign in. But if they revoke it, they again should sign in and give all those permissions. So now let's just go to GameMaker, and in GameMaker I want to show you this button. So let's just click on it. In create event, it's just a text. In draw, it's just drawing a text. And in left release click, it's just saying Google Play Service revoke access. So wherever you say revoke access, the access will be revoked. And let's just go back to sign in. Wherever you say Google Service start sign in intent, it try to sign in. And whenever and wherever you say Google Play Service sign out, it sign out. So let's add this button in here that is for revoking. And when they click on this revoke, the access will be gone. So let's just play it again. So now you see that it signed in automatically and it shows us the name of the player. And if they revoke it, they will sign out. And if they try to sign in again, they should give these permissions again. So let's just hit continue. And it again should be sign in, yeah, and it get the name. Now we are done with signing in and sign out and revoking access. Let's just go to leaderboard. Just go to your Google Play console and play game services, setup and management, and go to leaderboard that you create. Click on it, and in here there is an ID for our leaderboard. Just copy this. After you copy that, just go to GameMaker again, and in submit a score, I want to show you how you can submit the score to the leaderboard. So in create, it's just a text and the leaderboard ID. So we should paste that leaderboard ID that we copy from Google Play console. After that, draw is just drawing a text and itself. In left press click, we pick a random number between 1 and 100,000 and store it in new score. We show it with show message async, and after that we say Google Play Services leaderboard submit a score. First input is leaderboard ID, second input is our new score that you get from your game whenever and wherever you want, and third is about a score tag that I leave it empty. You don't need that. So wherever and whenever you say Google Play Service leaderboard submit a score, the score will be submitted to leaderboard. But before doing that, we should check if the user is signed in, and after that submit the score. So how we can do that? We can say if Google Play Service is signed in. If it's signed in, we can submit a score. And now that we have this button, let's just add it to our room. Now that we added, let's just go to another button in here. In the create, we should copy and paste the leaderboard ID in here as well. So let's just go up to the create event of this object of submit the score. I want to copy it and paste it in here, so we have it in our object play service leaderboard show as well. So we want to show the leaderboard to the user. In draw function, as always, it's just drawing itself, and after that drawing a text. In left release click, we can just say Google Play Service leaderboard show, but before that we should check if the user is signed in or not. So let's just paste that, copy and paste that from here, paste it here. So whenever you say Google Play Service leaderboard show and give it our leaderboard ID for input, it will show us the leaderboard. So now that we have this button, let's just add this button as well. Before we run our game, let's just go to this other button as well. It's button that show all the leaderboards. So in create event, it's just a text. In the draw, it's just a drawing itself and draw a text. And in left press, it's just saying Google Play Service leaderboard show all. So like before, we should check if it's signed in or not. After that, we can just say Google Play Service leaderboard show all. So it show all leaderboard. So now that we have this button as well, let's just add it to our room again. And now we can run it. So now you can see that we have sign in and sign out button, revoke button, but let's test post a score. If we hit post a score, it will submit a score to leaderboard. Because I test with this leaderboard a lot before, let's just go back to our game, and in submit a score button. In here, instead of this random generator here, say minimum is this, and add a 0 in here, so it starts from this to this, and select a random number and submit that random number to our leaderboard. So let's just run it again, and you can, if we hit show in here, you can see the last score is this, remember that, and when we hit post the score, the score is this, and if we go to show, it should show the new score in here. That wasn't easy, right? I think the Google Play Console part is the hardest part, but you just do it one time and it works for the rest of the life of the game. So before we stop the video, let's just go to OBG leaderboard again, and in the async event, you can see there are some events in here. Whenever the user try to sign in, if it's successful, these two functions will be called. This function get the player info, and this function get the account info of the player. And if it's not successful, it's just reset the account info. It's just for showing. After that, the other event is Google Play Service player current. So when we trigger this function, in return, there will be this event. If we get the data and it was successful, we get that and we put it in player info. And for getting that player info data, we can say player info.display name and save it in wherever we want, and we can show it like this. We can say show message async, name of the player is this player, display name of player. So I will show you where you can find this display name and where I did find it. If we go to logs in output, go up, in here you can see that our player is here. If you want to get player ID, you can copy this player ID here and paste it here, and it get player ID. If you want to get the display name, you can just copy this and get that display name, paste it here, and you get the display name, and you can show it with this. The other events doesn't matter much, but I want to show you something else in create event of this OBG leaderboard. This function that get account info. So it's just saying Google Play Service get account. It give us an JSON of that account info, and we can parse it and get whatever data we want from that. In this case, we get the given name or the first name of the player, and we show it with show message async, that you remember every time it's pop up. I want to comment this. You know now that how you can get data, get info from account info and player info. Hope you like this video. Please, if you want to help me to create more of this stuff, just hit that like button and subscribe to my channel, because I'm trying to do things that others don't, and I do my best to create videos with better quality. Thank you very much for watching. Bye.